To parents of transgender children, affirming your child's identity is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep them safe and healthy. To any transgender American who's struggling, please know that you're not alone. To parents and children alike, please ask for help and know this: you're so brave, you belong, and we have your back.
As President Joe Biden marks Transgender Day of Visibility today, the Republican Party has set its sights back on the LGBTQ community. A lot of the language the right has adopted around discussions of being gay or gender identity has focused around what they are calling grooming. Now, that's a term that's associated with abusers and molesters of children who kind of coerce their victims into the abuse. In Florida, before the Don't Say Gay bill was signed into law, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' press secretary called it, quote, the anti-grooming bill. Now, just again, what she's saying there is the only reason to talk about sexual orientation or gender identity with children is because a person wants to molest them. She later clarified that is just her personal view and not the governor's. The suggestion here is that any discussion about the fact that people are gay or trans is an insidious attempt to sexualize or sexually groom young children. It's not only false, it's obviously offensive. But lately, the Republican Party seems emboldened to make all kinds of rank, old-school, bigoted comments about gay, lesbian, trans people, like Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, for example.
We're going to drill oil right here in the USA. And you know what? Pete Buttigieg can take his electric vehicles and his bicycles, and he and his husband can stay out of our girls' bathrooms.
You could have a stroke trying to evaluate he and his husband can stay out of our girls' bathrooms. But these attacks on people in the gay and queer community are all part of what Slate senior writer Mark Joseph Stern identified as the end to the tactical truce the right had declared on some of these issues. And Mark Joseph Stern joins me now. Mark, I really like what you had to say, and it made me think about this differently. So I just want to start by saying on this Trans Day of Visibility, obviously, there was never a truce on trans issues, right? Republicans they viewed this as a very advantageous culture war issue. They've been pursuing it at a statutory level and in lawsuits and in policies all over the country. That's not what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I am talking about Republicans and conservatives, especially media figures, testing the waters on homophobia, the kind of which we have not really seen from major figures for quite some time. So you mentioned earlier this allegation that anyone who would want to simply acknowledge the existence of LGBTQ families in the classroom, that they are seeking to molest children. This claim that, same-sex parents do not make good parents, that they are harming their children, that other children must be shielded from them. And also on the legal level, we are now hearing an increasing number of Republican members of Congress openly condemn the Supreme Court's decision legalizing marriage equality and really saying that it should be overturned, that states should be able to ban and nullify same-sex marriages once again. We just didn't hear stuff like that for the past 7 years. Absolutely. We heard unrelenting and vicious attacks on trans equality, but there was an obvious tactical retreat on gay rights that seems to me to be pretty much over.
Yeah, and I want to just read the language at issue in the Florida bill, because there has been a lot of back and forth on it, so just can people hear it. It's HB 1557. It is incredibly vague, right? So classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Now, I have a hard time parsing that, but it says classroom instruction on sexual orientation may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3. That's a huge ban on real basic stuff like Heather Has Two Mommies or the Gay Penguins in Central Park children's book that is 100% gay, age appropriate, that talks about the fact that there are different kinds of relationships in the world.
Right. And in grades 4 through 12, any discussion of LGBTQ people has to be in accordance with state standards. And those standards do not exist. And Republicans have not indicated that they will draft them. And that leads to, I think, the most important thing to understand about this bill. It is not enforced like a regular law. It is modeled after the Texas vigilante abortion bill, and that it allows parents to file lawsuits against school districts that allegedly violate its provisions. They can collect money damages and attorney's fees if they can prove in court that a teacher violated this law. So it is designed to chill a maximum amount of speech in the classroom. What reasonable teacher would even have Heather Has Two Mommies on her shelf in 3rd grade, knowing that a parent could sue her for thousands of dollars and she might face a months-long investigation, have her reputation dragged through the mud, and ultimately be terminated, even if she's exonerated? So this is not a normal law. It is a gag order, and it is enforced in the most disturbing sort of vigilante manner possible.
And to go back to your point here, and this is a Back to the Future, when Heather Has Two Mommies was a culture war fight of my youth when I was 12 or 13 in New York City, right? That this was like, oh my God, this was the example of like the ridiculousness of the liberals, that, you know, this bifurcation, the tactical retreat on gay marriage, gay equality, the really vicious culture war on trans issues. Why do you think that tactical retreat is giving way now on things like as bread and butter marriage equality?
I think that Republicans have had extraordinary success attacking and vilifying trans people and eroding rights that seemed secure even a few years ago. I mean, as recently as 2016, it seemed pretty clear that the issue of trans school children using the right bathroom was settled. Like, many courts had agreed upon it. It didn't look like Justice Kennedy wanted to deal with it. It seemed like, okay, we can let trans kids be safely at school. And now here we are, and we're seeing state after state pass these odious bans, keeping kids out of bathrooms, keeping kids off sports teams if they're trans, and also prohibiting them from getting basic gender-affirming care. They are on this winning streak, and they are a little bit drunk on their success and trying to see where they can push next. What's the next frontier? This culture war, you always have to be feeding the fire. And I think they're looking around at these gay issues, and they're saying, we left some stuff on the table there.
Yep.
You know, these arguments for religious liberty exemptions to non-discrimination laws, those are gaining steam in federal courts. What's next? And what they've settled on is this idea that LGBTQ families have to be erased from public schools, and that will certainly not be the end of this campaign.
Yeah, you may not be interested in the culture war, but the culture war is interested in you. Mark Joseph Stern, thank you very much.